The next part of this lecture is going to be developing a nursery rhyme, your favorite nursery rhyme, using basic shapes. You're going to put together this week 10 storyboards at a minimum using the storyboard template you can find on the website to tell your favorite nursery rhyme. Here's here's going to be the problem. Well, and it's not a problem. Here are the constrictions. You can only use basic shapes, squares, rectangles, circles, triangles, and ovals, and you can only use about 6 colors in telling the story. You can use more than 10 storyboards or 10 slides, but what I want you to do is next week you're actually going to build this in Paint. But we'll talk about that next week. You're going to lay out the nursery rhyme on your storyboard paper and you're going to send them to me. You're either going to scan them in and email them to me, all 10 of them, put them in a folder, zip them, or you're going to drop them off at my office or in my mailbox so that I can look at them. Only using basic shapes. You're going to have to convey fear, size, happiness using shapes and colors. Okay, something's very large, you're going to make it very large. If something's very small, you're going to show us that in relationship with other things that are on the screen. I don't want you to use complex drawings, and you cannot use any text when you lay this all out. I'm trying to get you ready now to show you how to create and use design concepts to show us elements of unity, relationships within each other, how to develop a mood or a sense or a feeling by using shapes and colors to do that. I'm going to show you how we do that in the story of Little Red Riding Hood. And what I've done is I've built my images, or the images have been built, and we've put them on a slideshow so that we can go and walk through the slideshow. You're going to do the same thing. So if you haven't downloaded OpenOffice yet at openoffice.org, you want to make sure you do that, because this is in the Impress portion or the PowerPoint portion of OpenOffice. So let's go ahead and get started. Here's the slideshow on the story of Little Red Riding Hood. We start off with a triangle as Little Red Riding Hood. We could have picked any shape, but we're going to look to see if this shape works. And she's red to signify Red Riding Hood. Is the triangle significant to show as a cape because she wears a cape in it, or is it the side? Is it just the symbol that we liked? Well, we see her. We can use a circle to show her. Now we have picked another triangle, a larger triangle, to signify the mother who sends Little Red Riding Hood off to go see her grandmother. Again, we have a relationship here. We have the same objects in the same size. We have them in the same color, and yet we show a larger one for the parent and a smaller one for Little Red Riding Hood. Does this shape work better? Does it show her to be older? We tend to see her maybe as a little more dumpy. She still has a little bit of a triangle shape to her, but does this work better to show as Little Red Riding Hood's mother? How about this color? Does this work better? Now we have a green half circle to show us Little Red Riding Hood and the basket that mother gives Little Red Riding Hood. Does this work? Little Red Riding Hood goes through a forest to see her grandmother who lives in the forest. We can use these as trees. Do they work? Do they give us a sense of a forest? How about this? Does that work better? And how about this? What does this convey? We don't see the tops of the trees, but we are seeing something very large. Here's Little Red Riding Hood in the forest. Is the forest large in relationship to Little Red Riding Hood? How about now? Does it look much larger than Little Red Riding Hood? How about now? She looks even smaller than she did before. Now we see her as being deeper into the forest. Does it look scary to us? Do we see Little Red Riding Hood as deep in the forest? These are things of relationship, proximity, and alignment. Is that working for us? How about this? How about now? Does Little Red Riding Hood look like she's in an old, dark, dank forest now? And one of the other characters is the wolf. How does this look for our wolf? Is he scary? Is this better? We see the wolf much smaller, but still bigger than Red Riding Hood. We've changed the shape a little. Does this convey fear? Does Little Red Riding Hood look like she's scared? What if we go back to the shape and change the color? Does the wolf look scary now? Remember, we are so acculturated to looking at good and evil in colors. What signifies good in our culture? White, spiritual, clean. What signifies bad in our culture? Dark, black, ominous figures. So does this work better? Notice the wolf is much closer to us now and larger. Ah, we've added something to make him look very scary. While he might have looked scary here, he looks much more scary here. How about now? Does that chartreuse or that purple eye scare us? And does he look like he's looking at Little Red Riding Hood? How about now? He definitely looks a lot scarier with that red eye than he did before. Does this eye make him look scary? Or does he look happy and surprised to see Little Red Riding Hood? We definitely think he looks scarier now. There was just one thing missing before. He's looking directly at Little Red Riding Hood, and while he was scary before, now he looks like he wants to eat her. And we were able to convey that just by adding a red tongue. Again, not scary. And how about the background? How important is the background in this? Does Little Red Riding Hood look like she's dark in a deep forest? Remember, we're using color now to give us that feeling. What kind of feeling are we getting now? And then finally we added one more thing, and that was to make the wolf's teeth white. So they look like teeth. So he's not necessarily living in the shadow anymore where we saw him before, but now his teeth, his pearly whites are sparkling. So as you can see, we've done 4 colors, red, white, and black, and then the background. Have we succeeded in doing what we wanted to do? Does Little Red Riding Hood look like she's in the forest? And is she little, or is she rather large? Does the forest look dark and ominous? Does the wolf look like he's ready to eat her? And can we definitely tell what's on the wolf's mind with his tongue hanging out, his red beady eye looking at her, and his pearly white showing? So this is what I want you to do. I want you to take your favorite nursery rhyme. It doesn't have to be scary, but what I want you to do is to try and convey, if they're happy, can you convey that by using colors and shapes? If they're sad, can you convey that? If they're scared, can you convey that? Are they large in their world, or are they small in relationship to everything else? You've got to be able to do that. Notice we only used rectangles. The only place we might have deviated a little bit, but we used the tongue. We built the tongue using some different shapes together. But we've used basic shapes to tell the story of Little Red Riding Hood. Were we successful? Okay, that's all I have for you guys. Again, I want you to lay out your story, your nursery rhyme, using the storyboard and 10 templates, those 10 template storyboards. Draw on them. You can scan them into using a scanner, or you can drop them off at my office, but they are due by the end of the week. Okay, so you have until Saturday night, Sunday, to get those into me. Next week, you're actually going to do exactly what we did here and build your story. Okay, if you have any questions, call me, email me, and check out the website for any possible answers that might be there.